Your balls are going to run away with it.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. People like their own balls. They don't like other people's
That's
balls.
true.
You know?
I've
They may
yeah.
revolt against my balls.
This is the Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote.
Pardon it.
Here's your host, Greg Cote.
You're just going to say haircut boy?
Haircut boy.
I'm thinking about starting two things on this podcast. Okay. I'm thinking about starting No Hat Chris.
Wow.
And I'm thinking about starting sunglasses. This is more of a life thing. The hat thing is just for this podcast.
Okay.
The sunglasses thing is more of a life thing. I want to become an inside sunglass wearer.
I like it. I wish I had the nerve to be. Let me take those two things one at a time. Number one, I endorse ditching the hat.
What if I start it on this podcast only? So on Tuesdays, you can be tune into our YouTube channel if you want to see No Hat Chris.
Okay.
It's a totally different character. Totally different character.
I like that. And the sunglasses thing, by the way, I like those shades. When I was young, we used to call sunglasses shades.
Shade still works.
Okay. Because I just, your mother and I just saw A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan film.
Yeah.
Starring Timothy, was it Chalamet?
Was he as good as everyone says?
Yeah, he was really good. I don't think playing Dylan is the toughest role on earth.
Oh, wow. Let's hear it. Let's go ahead. Send in your tape right now.
Okay. I'm just saying, Bob Dylan is sort of unsmiling, mumbly. He's the type of persona that I don't think is really demanding of an actor. I could be wrong, but
let me hear your Dylan.
I don't do a Dylan. I'm not playing a role here.
Why do I have him British? He's kind of nasally, right?
Yeah. The thing I actually liked about Timothy Chalamet's Dylan is that it wasn't an over-the-top caricature.
Right.
Like Jimmy Fallon on late night TV does a Dylan imitation, but his is really over the top. Like a Rolling Stone.
That can't be true that Jimmy Fallon's over the top with something.
No, he really is, especially with Dylan. But I thought it was a good movie. It focused too much on the film festival, the Newport Film Folk Festival, where he went electric. It was, the whole thing was a build up to that, and so really it just focused on a 3 or 4 year period, young in his career. But still, it was really good. By the way, we are coming out on St. Paddy's Day. Aye, laddie! So happy St. Paddy's Day to everyone. One of my 3 facts, Jack, later today will deal with St. Patrick's Day, and also we have a lot to get to regarding March Madness, and
we have so much March. We have so much brackets.
Yes.
We got to get to brackets. We got to get to basketballs.
Yes, balls, brackets, balls, baskets. We got everything going on here. But before we do, I got to ask you a very quick question, because this comes up on the fairly rare occasions when you and I are at a bar together. Okay, you're a shot guy. You and your crowd tends to, have a round of shots, and then you clink glasses and do the toast thing. I'm over here as the beer drinker with the big brown bottle. When you guys lean in to toast shots, am I expected to or uninvited to lean in and clink with my beer bottle?
I mean,
what's the etiquette?
You tend to make it awkward and say something I'm not allowed to. Generally, people just shut up and then raise their glass. It's like a toast. Why not? Yes, if you have a drink in your hand, you're perfectly welcome.
Okay,
join us.
Okay.
You just always have to narrate your life and
True.
go, I'm a kind of guy that doesn't, and it's we're just just shut up, Dad. Just put your glass in. Thank you.
Well, it's always awkward because I never know whether beer drinkers, I think, shot drinkers look down on beer drinkers. And so, I don't want to break the party or something.
Every place you walk into, you have to say the phrase, at some point, I'm the kind of guy.
Oh, I love that phrase.
If you're bowling, at some point, you're going to be I'm the kind of guy that still uses 3 fingers.
Yeah.
And while everyone else is doing
right.
You're at a restaurant. I'm the kind of guy that orders the Blanc.
We love that. We love that. And by the way, here's another one. I'm the kind of guy who is very torn when he sees a coin on the ground. Okay. Like the other day, actually it was a couple of weeks ago, but I haven't thought about it until now. When I got out of my car, there's a dime right next to my car. A dime, not a penny or a nickel, a dime.
Please tell me you did not pick that up.
I didn't give it a second thought. I just walked away from it, didn't pick it up, and almost immediately felt guilty. Like, who the hell am I not to pick up a dime? Like, what is your rule of thumb? Now, I remember you as a teenager, there were coins all over my driveway because you had a fetish against touching coins.
I didn't like the smell of copper. Like, you've turned this into like a total coin thing. I didn't like pennies because of like I don't want to call it a phobia. I just had this I would puke at the smell of copper.
Okay. But to my question, will you pick up coins? And if so, what coin is it? Does it start with a nickel or a dime? Does it have to be a quarter?
Well, first of all, you asked a very important question there. You put an S at the end of that. If obviously, if I saw a plethora of coins somewhere, I would gather them.
Okay, plethora.
If I ever see a single coin, there's not a single coin out there that I will pick up. I mean, do they go more? There's a dollar coin, right?
There is, but you never see them.
Like a dollar coin I'd pick up just because it's rare, but I'm not picking up a quarter if I just see a quarter on the floor.
You would not pick up a quarter?
I mean, like, nowadays, what the bleep am I going to do with a quarter?
Okay, because I would definitely pick up a quarter. I felt guilty for not picking up a dime. I'm curious how most of our listeners feel.
Toll plazas aren't a thing anymore. Back in your day, you had to have like a center console full of change.
Okay.
Like, this is honestly, I honestly always give if like I see a homeless person, like not so at the stoplights when I'm in my car, but like if somebody comes up to me at a gas station, sometimes in Miami, I'm at a gas station and somebody comes up like this has happened over the years dozens of times where somebody is just like, hey man, you got any spare change?
Right.
And if I have cash on me, a small $5, I will always give it. But 9 times out of 10, I'm in a spot where I literally I'll even look sometimes because I feel bad. And I'll like look in my car, like, because I always hit them with, I don't have anything.
Right.
And I feel like they think I'm lying. So I will literally like open my glove box. Like I will. And if I feel bad when that happens, like, I'm not going to be like, hey, can I Zelle you?
Zelle.
I'm not going to lie. The people that do, like, I know they're obviously in a spot where they probably, like, some of them are scammers and they do have phones and stuff. Like, some of these people are genuinely hard on their luck. Like, some of these people are doing fine and just making a nice little side gig this way. But if they walked around with a little barcode where I could, I would honestly probably feel guilted into giving more. I would just be like, take a picture of it, send you $3. There you go.
Yeah. When I'm walking into a Publix, sometimes I don't have any cash. And so I got hit up the other day by a little girls team of some sort. It wasn't Girl Scout cookies. It was like a softball team or something. Very young. Like they seem to be 8 or 10 years old. But I'm saying, honestly, sorry, I don't have any cash. And the mother of the group says, we take Venmo.
Of course.
Can you
no. Oh, people fundraising like that? Oh, yeah. All like the Girl Scout cookies. People know you're not going to make money if you only take cash these days.
Oh, my God. Okay. Anyway, the moral of the story, pick up a quarter because you're still allowed to use change when you buy a pack of gum. Okay?
If I give it, like I should actually pick it up just to put it in my car so I can have something in my car next time.
Right. Okay. Should we get to this March Madness extravaganza?
Let's talk brackets. And by brackets, we mean the Greg Cote show with Greg Cote's version of brackets.
Yes. Yeah. I would like to do it. I haven't mentioned this to you. You can override me as the executive producer if you want, but I want March Madness celebration not only to be our style, but Mount Gregmore style. And let me tell you what I mean by that.
Oh, boy.
I would, in 4 categories, I would like to present my final 4s, but not final 4s, final 5s, Mount Gregmore style.
Final Gregmores.
Final Gregmores in selected categories.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Wait a minute. So there's 4 categories.
Yes.
4 things in each category, except it's a Gregmore, so it's 5?
Yes.
So
in other words,
items in each category. So you have 20 things total.
Right.
And how are we going to whittle this bracket down? Like we'll pick a winner from each category and we'll have our final 4?
Okay, well, I'm doing it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you'll know who my number one is.
Right.
So what we could do is we could have a listener vote where they would vote for their favorite number one, or we could have 4 votes by categories and they could pick their favorite of the 5 I give. Whatever,
Or
we can decide.
Could not rank them right here and just kind of mix them up and release them all to not affect the jury.
Oh,
and then we could just have the listeners vote on it.
Okay, that's a good idea.
So why don't you're gonna read them right now, but just know that he's messing up his order, and we can still say which ones our favorite are. Like you don't have to be, but yeah,
okay,
in no particular order type thing.
Okay, I'm purposely jumbling them.
Okay.
Let's start with.
So
we'll add in a drum roll.
Let's a drum roll. That would be wild of us to do.
Yeah.
Let's first unveil the 4 categories.
Okay. Marches.
Whoa, whoa, marching, your top 5 marching ever?
Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what comes out of it. The categories are marches, brackets, baskets, and balls.
Well, is the first category march or marches? Because the way you're saying marches implies that it's people marching.
How about we listen to what our 5 are?
Oh my God, I feel like you went rogue here. Okay. Oh my God, what we had was so funny. All right, go ahead.
Okay, the final 5 marches in random order.
My bad. What were the 4? Sorry for interrupting. So it was marches,
brackets, baskets, and balls.
So you're gonna have your top 5 of just brackets.
Yes.
Just the
Which do you want me to start with? Marches, brackets, baskets, or balls?
Okay, baskets or balls. I get it. Basketball. All right, now I'm following.
Okay.
Let's start with marches. I'm intrigued.
Okay, and this is not in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 order.
Right.
This is totally random. Are you ready?
Yeah.
John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever, the world's most iconic musical march.
Okay.
March 1977, the month Greg Cote lost his virginity. March 2023.
Wait, hold on, slow down. Okay. What year was that?
March, as I recall. I don't keep a diary.
So this was just the March, your favorite March. One of your favorite marches of all time was March of what year?
1977. I was 23. Yes, I was,
23?
Yeah. That's right.
Were you waiting for marriage?
Yeah, I was waiting for Mary. No, I was waiting for some female type to like me enough.
23?
Yes. I'm sorry. I could have lied. I could have said 1969 and that have been 15. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. March 2023, when you and I flew to Houston to attend our first Final Four and had a wonderful time.
Oh my God, that's so adorable, and I loved that trip too. It's one of my favorite trips ever.
Thank you.
But that's not going to beat your virginity. How are we going to beat the month you losing your virginity?
We have 2 more.
We're never going to beat you losing your virginity at age 23.
You never know. This could win. The Selma Marches of 1965, a series of protests against systemic racism and efforts to keep Black Americans from voting.
A great march.
And the final march, Peggy March, a.k.a. Little Peggy March, American pop singer who in 1963 crooned the million-selling song, I Will Follow Him.
I'm gonna give you credit here. That was genuinely funny. That 5, and I can't. This hasn't been done before.
Right?
Maybe it has. It probably has. Everything's been done at some point.
Nope, we were inventing this.
It's very rare that I feel like we're doing something that's genuinely creative, and this is one of them.
And to recap very quickly in the March category, John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes musical march. March 77, when I lost my virginity. March 23, when Christopher and I went to Houston for the Final Four, the Selma Marches of 1965, and Lil Peggy March.
If you can either vote, we're going to have voting on X. You'll be able to vote there. Probably Instagram, but maybe not. And definitely in the comments here, we'll be looking at our YouTube comments. vote there for which one you want, and we will track YouTube comments and our Twitter polls. So we will have next week unveil, once the voting's done, which of these will move on to the final four or the final Gregore. The final Gregore.
Correct. Okay, we have 3 categories left. Which would you like to hear next? Final 5 balls, baskets, or brackets?
Well, we got to go basketballs in order at the end. So let's go brackets. So this is Greg Cote's top 5 brackets of all time. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Okay,
I feel like
again,
is March our best? Like we should have maybe ended with March.
I think they're all pretty good.
Okay, let's go.
Of course, I'm prejudiced. These again are in random order. Okay, the bracket. A March 2008 episode of How I Met Your Mother. Sports brackets led by the NCAA as a system of organizing tournaments. Wow. Although March Madness lost points with me when it expanded to 68 teams by adding extraneous play-in games.
So just general sports brackets. That's strong.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough to beat.
Tax bracket. I am fiscally irresponsible, but thank God my wife handles it all.
Yeah, right. You're in like a top tax bracket. You're probably paying more than anyone.
I support
actually, maybe with Trump, you're not actually.
I support my fellow man.
That's funny because you actually are an example of someone who votes against what would help him tax-wise.
I always have.
I always say, well, your mom, you and mom.
Right.
But yes, it's that is rare, I would say, just from the gathering information from people I meet.
Okay, 2 left. The punctuation bracket, whether rounded parentheses style or a classic squared bracket.
Wait, Dad.
Bracket.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I got confused for a second. Continue.
Okay. The punctuation bracket, it's called. It can be a rounded parentheses style or a classic squared bracket, which I prefer. Either way, we love this vehicle as a way to isolate a segment of text or data from its surroundings. A grammatical aside. Yep. With an air of nonchalance.
Love it. It's hard to write. It's hard to write. It's hard to get it perfect when you're.
It is. It is. And the final bracket is the classic angle bracket, a staple of basic carpentry, the utilitarian L-shaped fastener that joins 2 parts at a 90-degree angle. Christopher, you may recall for a while in the backyard, we had a big square table around our avocado tree.
Yeah.
Which I, with the help of Uncle Dick, built by hand. Could not have done it without angle brackets attaching the tabletop to the vertical 4x4 legs.
I definitely have seen the thing you're talking about.
Yes. Okay, those are the 5 brackets. To recap, the bracket episode of How I Met Your Mother, tax bracket, sports brackets, the punctuation bracket, and the classic angle bracket.
I feel like this is a 2-horse race between sports brackets and the How I Met Your Mother episode.
Okay. Interesting. I'm partial to the punctuation bracket as a writer, but I don't want to sway the jury.
That's coming in last. Sorry.
What do you like next?
Maybe now it won't, but
you like baskets or balls?
Would it be what kind of podcast would we be if we did balls before baskets?
Okay, so we're basketing.
Yep. So it's your top 5 baskets.
Correct.
Hold on, let me see if I can guess any of these.
Okay.
Let me just think for a second.
It'll sort of spoil it if you guess correctly, if I'm being honest.
I just feel like you're going to say, like, a basket that Nana Doogie had in 1965.
Actually, it was 1957, but I was going to mention that basket. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I was going to say, I just pulled that out of my ass. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know you did. All right, you ready for the final 5 baskets?
Yeah.
No particular order. Baskets, the American dark comedy drama TV series that premiered in 2016, starring Zach Galifianakis as a failed professional clown.
Wow, never saw that.
It's I'm aware of it. I think I've seen part of one episode. It's dark, it's creepy, and I want to watch it again. I forget what channel it's on or streaming service, whatever the hell they call those now. Okay, continuing. The iconic Easter basket, which held the eggs the kids collected before eggs became so expensive it would now be cheaper tradition to have a lobster tail hunt.
Strong basket.
Thank you. Here's an even better one.
I just thought of a basket that I really hope's in here. Go ahead.
Okay. The peach basket that Dr. James Naismith nailed to a YMCA wall in Springfield, Mass. To invent the sport of basketball in 1891.
Wow. I was like ready to crush that one until you said it invented basketball.
Okay. Two left. Willie Mays' famous basket catch off the
Wow.
bat of Vic Wertz, a deep fly to center field. It was September 29th at the Polo Grounds in the 1954 World Series. Greg Cote was then less than 3 weeks old, but remembers sitting bolt upright in his crib in Lawrence, Massachusetts, as a small black and white Dumont TV in the next room. He heard the play call of Jack Brickhouse on NBC, thereby planting the seed that would bloom into a lifelong love of sports.
I mean, you definitely don't remember that.
I imagine that I remember that.
But that is a great one, and that might win. I think
it could be a winner. But the final one in the category is the phrase "to hell in a handbasket," originating in the 18th century and possibly associated with capturing guillotined heads in a basket, with a religious subtext suggesting one's fast descent to hell. If your life is going off the rails, buddy, you are going to hell in a handbasket.
I've heard you say that, I think. I mean, I definitely heard that saying. I don't know if it was from you, but I think it was.
Okay, recapping the category: Baskets, the dark comedy drama TV series; the Easter Basket; the Peach Basket that invented basketball; the phrase "to hell in a handbasket"; and Willie Mays' basket catch.
Man, that's a good category.
Yeah, it's strong.
You did forget one, but I don't know if it cracks that top five. Just the grocery store basket.
No, that's a good one. That was considered by our voters.
Like, are you a grocery basket guy, or are you always like? There are some people that if they're getting two things, they're pushing a cart.
Oh, I'm a cart pusher.
No matter what. So you don't use the basket.
I have used the basket. If I'm literally going in there for a loaf of bread and a can of soup.
What is the max what's the most amount of items you're going in there for where you will still get the basket?
Okay, my rule of thumb is, would I prefer to use a cart to push it out to my car? Like if I'm getting anything that's heavy, if I'm getting a 12-pack of beer or a gallon of oil, vegetable oil or something that's heavy, I'd rather have in a cart.
12-pack of beer we can't carry.
I could, but I'm lazy. I'd rather push it in the cart.
You're 70. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, I usually buy a case, not a 12-pack.
That's true.
Okay.
This guy's like, you think I'm buying 12 at a time?
Yeah, what am I, a construction worker? I'm going to put a case of beer on my shoulder? Come on.
Or two.
Get out of here.
You look super strong.
That's right. Final category. Final five balls.
Wait, final five? So like this is your top 5 balls of all time.
Yeah, and this is a random order.
I hope these are all people.
Okay. Are you ready?
Dan Le Batard's.
No. The Times Square ball, on which attention rivets every New Year's Eve as thousands of people inexplicably jam Times Square and wait for hours in the freezing cold with no place to pee.
That's the first one of all of these that I'm just like, you just saw that on a list and you're like, oh, okay, I'll put that on there.
That was actually the last one I added. But when I ran across it, I'm like, yeah, that deserves to be.
You're not a big New Year's guy.
No, I'm not.
You don't give a shit about that ball.
I don't, but thousands do.
What are you doing here? This is Greg Cote's. This is Greg Cote's.
I do give a shit about our next candidate, Lucille Ball.
There we go.
Now American actress, one of the 20th century's most important women. The show was I Love Lucy, and America Did.
I remember. I watched that growing up too. Like it was on reruns, but it was great.
That's correct.
Ethel Merman.
Okay, three left. This is obvious. Balls used in sports. Fancy dances are called balls because the word derives from the Latin ballare, which means to dance. Well, that's fitting in sports too, because the most gifted athletes do their own kind of dance with the ball. Alas, the big dance that has only now just begun.
What is your favorite sports ball, though? If you had to pick one as like the leader of this team that is like representing this category.
For many, many years in my life, it was the tennis ball.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say baseball.
No, I used to play a lot of tennis. In fact, Le Batard and I for years had matches almost every weekend.
And who was better?
What's that?
And who was better?
We were pretty even. He's like 13 years younger than me or something, so he may have won more than I did, but we were very competitive. Jim Martz and I used to play all the time. But later, soccer, I think soccer might be my favorite ball now.
I wonder if Dan would say you guys were even in tennis, or whether he remembers it.
You should ask him, because we haven't played in many years, and I may be misremembering it. Okay, that's 3 in the category. There's 2 left. Red Rubber Ball, the 1966 hit song by The Circle. 2 minutes and 22 seconds of pure magic, written by Bruce Woodley of The Seekers and Paul Simon of Simon and Garfunkel.
I thought you were nominating the Red Rubber Ball as the leader of all the balls. The sports
No, this
ball.
is the song,
because that is a pretty strong, like, foundational ball in a child's life. The rubber red ball that you play with at school.
No, you're right. And that, had I been doing a top 10 instead of a top 5, the Red Rubber Ball would have made it. But my favorite Red Rubber Ball is the song by The Circle. I should have known you'd bid me farewell. There's a lesson to be learned from this, and I've learned it very well.
Take a breath.
What a song.
Take a breath, man.
What a song. And you know why that song
you sang every line of that song out of breath.
You know why that song is so important to Greg Cote? Do you?
Why?
I think you do.
What?
I think you do.
Because of March 1977?
No, it was that was long before that. That song seared into mind and heart as it happened to be playing on the radio as Greg received his first ever kiss on the cheek from a girl at an after-school pool party in Hollywood, Florida.
At age 18.
No, it was 1966. So
12.
I would have been 12 or 13.
Nice.
So that's pretty special. One last category in Final 5 balls. My own. Okay? Listen, modesty prevents this ranking higher, dare say on top. But a man's own sack may be his greatest and certainly most intimate possession.
Jesus.
The mighty testes, the very word balls, is slang for chutzpah or bravery. A man's sack is where life begins and why the world still turns.
Oh, man. This is great. I love this.
To summarize,
I love your balls being the last thing you said there.
Balls used in sports: Times Square ball, Lucille ball, Red Rubber ball, and my balls.
Wow. I thought, man, your balls are going to run away with it.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. People like their own balls. They don't like other people's balls.
That's true.
You know? They may revolt against my balls. You know, there could be some Lucille Ball fans out there.
But they're just
maybe
voting
people thought
for
it was
balls.
Charming that Red Rubber Ball was playing when I
think if there was any other involvement other than just voting, I think you'd be right. But I think people will vote for your balls.
Yeah, we're going to have these votes one day at a time over 4 days, and I will put them on Twitter.
Wow. So we're not going to have a meeting about that. You just decided that.
I mean, we can have a meeting if you want. I don't like meetings.
I don't hate that idea of every day throughout the week.
Yeah. And we'll have like a 24-hour frame where we count the votes after the polls close after 24 hours.
Right.
That kind of thing. So that's the Greg Cote Show's March Madness celebration with our final 5, the Mount Gregmore of balls, brackets, baskets, and marches.
And remember, once we have our winners from each category, we then have our final Gregmore.
Yes.
Our Greg 4. Our final Greg 4.
Right.
And that's
Greg
when
4, I like
then we can draw that out. Maybe we put them up 2 versus 2 to get to our final.
Oh, I like it. Yeah. And because whoever's the number 1 seed has a bye, right?
Why don't we do it by whoever dominates, whoever by voting, whichever thing wins by the biggest margin is the 1 seed.
The top seed.
Wins by the least margin is the 4 seed. And
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Well, okay. We are very scripted, more scripted than usual this episode. And in keeping with that, we still have the big 4 of bells and whistles: dad jokes, 3 facts, Jack, gripes of wrath, and herb countdown.
Yeah. Let's take a break before we do that. Because
my voice needs a break.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm revving too fast.
We'll get some water. We'll be right back, folks.
Okay.
And we're back. Greg Cote hydrating himself, acting like an adult. During the break, I just scolded him because all he's drank is coffee all day and it's 4 p.m. And we have bowling tonight. So he might, have a beverage or two before he hops in his Uber. And it's just like so infuriating to me that you don't drink water. But we can move on to let's get to your number 18. Are we at Herb of the Week?
The Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote presents Greg Cote's Top 20 Herbs. Here's Greg Cote with your Herb of the Week.
Yes, we are. A quick recap. I'm not going to do this much longer because I don't want to say, let me recap the first 15 herbs, but we've only had two previous, the Acmella oleracea, the toothache plant, and number 19, Herb Adderley, the Hall of Fame cornerback.
I actually want you to rattle them all off every time.
Okay. I'll hold you to that. That will be funny, rattling off the first 18. And speaking of 18, this is the number 18 herb in our top 20 countdown.
Come on, time.
Okay. Bay leaves.
Oh, overrated.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. I'm glad you said overrated because I'm about to learn you.
I've used them. I know that they're used in spaghetti sauce. And go ahead. Sorry.
You don't know bay leaves.
Go ahead. Sorry.
When I say bay leaves, I mean only the right kind. We've all seen the standard dried out bay leaves that are brittle.
By Badia? Whatever the hell that thing's called.
Yes. And they're broken in pieces. Awful. Avoid them. Those bay leaves have been zapped with radiation to increase their shelf life.
Yeah.
Okay? Open your eyes, open your lives, open the flavor of your dishes by looking a little harder for and spending a little more for non-irradiated or fresh bay leaves, which are fuller, a more natural green, and pack more flavor. Let me give you a little example. This is a full bay leaf, greener in color.
Oh, for sure.
It is so much better. They're a little bit pricier. They contain in a.
Let me see the thing.
What's that?
Yeah, I mean that for sure has whatever you were talking about in it too, but less of it.
Yes. So, so basically, number 18 is not just bay leaves, but fresh, non-irradiated bay leaves. I will say anyone that I've ever used is darker than that. Like that one looked good. I will give you that. Right. Yes.
But I just it's one of those things you always got to remember to take it out of your sauce too.
Oh yeah, they're inedible. But generally they float pretty good, and they're almost always in sauces or gumbos
But because you don't bite into it, and it's hard to tell when you're getting the flavor from the bay. I don't know what the flavor is that I'm supposed to be getting from the bay leaf.
That's a fair comment. I just trust that they are a flavor additive, a natural flavor additive.
It's a lot of recipes are just throw a bay leaf in there, and I'm always just all right, I don't need to do that. Don't know what that is.
Yeah, I think if you spend to get the fresh bay leaves, it really makes a difference.
I'm gonna try. Next time I'm making a Sunday sauce.
Yes. Yeah, especially for sauces, gumbos. I always use them in gumbos.
I was gonna say, what else? I only have seen them kind of with a red sauce. Obviously, okay, gumbo. What else can we do?
Basically, stews and soups. Like if you're making
any sauce, basically, I guess.
Yeah, sauces, stews, gumbos. But get the fresh bay leaves, not those crunchy ones that turn to dust in your hand. Those are terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we want next?
We don't really want any of it next, but I guess if we had, no, I'm kidding. I'll do dad jokes.
Dad jokes.
He's always kind of thinking that his puns are in vogue. He cracks himself up like an egg with a yolk. And now Chris's morale is broke. Dad jokes.
Number 3. What's the favorite cheese on Sesame Street?
Hold on. Oh, this is easy. Munster.
Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster. Damn it! Why? I knew that was why didn't I say cookie? I knew that the joke was Cookie Monster.
Yeah, we can't give you credit. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie. I did have a brain fart. I was like, is it the Cookie Monster? Something Monster?
Yeah. The judges have ruled against you. You had half the answer. Number 2.
I said Munster.
Yeah.
That's
Number
the most,
2.
like if I just said cookie, that would have been more right.
No, that would have been wrong too. Would have been half an answer. Number 2. What do you get when you cross a rabbit and a shellfish?
A rabbit shell? I don't know.
The oyster bunny.
Bad.
That's pretty good.
Bad.
Number 1. What did Mars say to Saturn?
I don't know.
Hey, give me your ring sometime.
Bad.
No, that's good. Saturn has rings.
3 facts, Jack.
There are 3 things that interest him, so sit right back for 3 facts, Jack.
Number 3. St. Patrick's Day, today, happy St. Patrick's Day if you're listening on Monday, is now synonymous with green beer and heavy partying in America. But in Ireland, it was a religious holiday first, during which pubs stayed closed until the 1970s. And Ireland did not promote St. Paddy's Day to increase tourism until the mid-1990s.
So is number 3 the preemptive spot in 3 facts, Jack?
Yeah, it's a countdown. It's a mini countdown.
So when you think you'd build up to number 1?
I do.
Are we building up or building down?
No, we build down to number 1. St. Patrick's Day was number 3. The next one's number 2, and then number 1.
So number 1 in terms of like importance?
Yes.
Like 1, 2, or 3.
Like
so this
finishing
is
first place.
So the one you just read is the least important.
Yes.
And on St. Patrick's Day, you felt like you should put it at 3.
Right. Bronze, silver, gold. Think of it as bronze, silver, gold.
Wow.
Okay.
And you gave St. Patrick's Day fact on St. Patrick's Day a gold. I mean, a bronze.
Yeah. It's my 3 facts, Jack.
All right.
Number 2, medieval and early modern Europe saw dance plagues in which people danced uncontrollably for several days. Number 1, more than 2,500 retired New York City subway cars are sunk to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean and used as artificial reefs.
What?
That's correct.
Read that again.
And I didn't know this either, and I had the same reaction. What? More than 2,500 retired New York City subway cars are at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean serving as artificial reefs.
What is an artificial reef? I mean, I know it's like a reef that it's like they're making it instead of it creating on its own, but like, so I guess that's beneficial for sea life to, because then things can grow around it, and then people can
grow around it and grow in it. Picture
it gives more area for the fish to like have like little areas to live, essentially.
Yes, it's almost like for
it's like dropping an apartment building in the ocean for fish.
That's exactly right. It's like an underwater high rise.
I love how I worked that out myself. Like I kind of just like figured it out after like 10 seconds of just like what.
Right. No, that was pretty impressive of you to figure out, and also one of the better 3 facts, Jack, because it surprised the hell out of me as well.
I mean, the second one I couldn't have ever wished to never hear again, but
the dance plagues.
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, I wasn't really even listening, so it might have been interesting, but just
what if you had a malady, a plague, where you were dancing uncontrollably nonstop for days?
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Yeah, I told you I wasn't listening.
Yeah, dance plagues.
Actually, read that one again.
Medieval and early modern Europe saw dance plagues in which people danced uncontrollably for several days.
All right, that is more interesting than I gave it credit for.
It's probably a good idea to listen to these things. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
I mean, I'm so beaten down with these 2 segments. It's like,
I know.
I need Yeti here to like make noises.
Yeah. How about Gripes of Wrath? Are you beaten down by that yet?
No, I like this one.
Okay. Gripes of Wrath.
Annoyances, complaints. Greg's got grievances out the ass, so buckle up, Buttercup. It's time for Greg Cote's Gripes of Wrath.
I love Herb of the Week and Gripes of Wrath. Like, love in on
excellent. Both. Okay. Toilet seat wars. Now, I'm not here to bitch about all those men accused of being rude Neanderthals because they dare not to automatically lower the seat after use. I'm here to gripe about the people who constantly and laboriously complain that they don't. You know how long it takes to lower a raised ring of polypropylene plastic? About a half of 1 second. The way I see it, the ring left up is your guarantee that I haven't pissed on it. As you walk into the commode, you're welcome.
I mean, I agree.
There you go. All right? Am I right?
I mean, it's yes.
Crazy. It's people make such a big deal out of that. It came up once on the Le Batard show. Women, especially for, maybe apparent reasons, make such a big deal out of men who don't lower the toilet seat. Do it yourself. It takes half a second.
I mean,
and then I haven't pissed on it. That's why I left it up as your guarantee. You're welcome. Okay.
This should go over well.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just leaving you alone on this one. I'm just...
Yeah. I'm twisting in the wind here. That's okay. I'm
literally and figuratively.
Yeah. I'm used to it.
What a fun episode with the brackets, though. I'm not even gonna lie.
It was pretty good. Yeah, you suggested the idea. I balked at it at first. Balk! I'm glad I came around because I did think it worked out well. I'm interested in putting the polls on. I'm going to put the polls up in the order I did them, which would be March.
Yeah, Monday should be March.
Yeah, March, baskets.
No. It was, right.
March, brackets, baskets, and balls.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the order we'll do it. So Monday, as you're listening to this, check us out on It's Always Twitter to me, because you'll see our first poll on March 5, whatever we're calling it. Final 5, final Greg Moore.
No, the final Greg 4.
Final Greg 4 of Marches will be a poll up there 5. Oh, confusing. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I gotta think. Okay. Is that it? Anything to add?
Nope. Let's get out of here.
All right. Love you, and we'll see you. We'll kegel together later tonight.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking to the audience. Like, you just act like you usually end there talking to the audience. That's why when you were like, "I love you," I was like, "Wow, that's." I was actually gonna make a joke about like, "Wow, you love the audience and not me." But you were just talking to me, forgetting that we're doing a podcast.
That's true. I do owe the audience a final wave goodbye because I tell you,
I love how you ended that with me. Like, "Hey, I'll see you at bowling."
Yeah,
like we're ending the podcast, Dad.
I thought we'd finish recording already. But anyway, Pod family, audience, friends, listeners, and friends, and you all are our friends, the friends we haven't met yet. We appreciate you coming back to our show every single week. Really thank you for it. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next week. Vote on our polls this week. Our Greg Madness polls, March Gregness, Madness, whatever we're calling it. It's totally confusing. Thank you very much. Good night.
Dad, Dad, please don't drink any more coffee today.
Okay, I got a whole keg here, though. It's hefty.
Just pour it out. You've had 6. How many cups of coffee have you had today?
Just this is my second one of these. This is bigger than a cup. This is probably 16 ounces. So I probably had 20 ounces of coffee today. That's not bad.
That is not your second one of those today.
No, it is. You know why? Because these things stay warm. I'll tell you how long these things stay warm.
Please, I please did not want this conversation.
Okay, I know. Let me tell you real quick. There was one time when I'm driving to a 1 p.m. Dolphins game on a Sunday.
This is the Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote.
Pardon it.